All right, good morning. My name's Adam Witter. I am an alumni with Leadership Greenville, class number 44, and I'm joined today by Mr. Ed Zeigler, and he is class number 15. And we're here today to celebrate Ed as a very worthy recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award. And Ed, it's good to be with you today. And although we could spend several hours this morning walking through your extensive list of notable accomplishments, both personally and professionally, I want to take a few minutes of your time today and learn a little bit about your Leadership Greenville experience and how your engagement with Leadership Greenville has kind of shaped you both personally and throughout your professional career.
Thanks, Adam. Leadership Greenville was something that I had sort of noticed when I came to town and knew about it and wanted to be a part of that. And I think the bigger issue there was I was a new Greenvillian of a few years, and I wanted to know more about the community. I wanted to know about the leadership in the community. And I joined a firm here at Craig Gall & Davis that had some really dynamic leaders that had been, really involved in the development of Greenville. So I wanted to learn everything I can about that. So Leadership Greenville was a real great opportunity for me to start that.
To do that, to find that wonderful. So where exactly were you at in your career when you decided to pursue the opportunity to be a part of a Leadership Greenville class?
I had, I guess I'd been in town about 5 years, and after 2 years I was named a principal in this firm. So I was starting the leadership track within the company, and it was time, I had a young family, it was time to start trying to do that while balancing that at the same time. And actually I think I put it off a year for that very reason, because I had a newborn at home. But it was an important time to meet people. So networking was an important aspect of it, and little did I know the impact that it would have on me, when I was wanting to do it.
Yes.
To then when after I went through it.
Absolutely. So give us some, everyone who's gone through the Leadership Greenville program, it's obviously changed them, and they get so much more out of it than they ever expected they would. So share with us, take us back into time here to class number 15, and share with us some lasting memories, maybe friendships, or even professional connections that you were able to make throughout your opportunity with class number 15.
I think probably the most impactful was the opening retreat, when you're put in a space with 45 people, and they come from every walk of life, they're different status in their businesses, but you basically are all equal when you come, until they divide you up in SimSoc.
Exactly.
Pretty equal, but I think what was interesting to learn, because you're very wide-eyed at that opening retreat, and you're trying to kind of feel your way through it, but we were asked, and I don't really remember the context, but we were asked something about, can you equate yourself, what type of dog or would you say you are, the personality that you are? And there were a lot of Doberman pinchers in that class, so it's like, okay, this is an interesting dynamic, how's this going to work? But everybody was incredibly welcoming, and it was just an incredible experience, just getting to know these people, and then going through the simulated society was rather humbling and eye-opening.
Sure.
And sort of really does prepare you for the year, and I assume they still do that exercise.
Yes. Do you remember what color you were?
I think I was blue.
Blue.
Mm-hmm.
I ran the newspaper.
Okay.
Would that be blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time. But our class, a very memorable thing, I think we were the first class that had somebody die within the program, within the society. Not
real life. Okay, all right. So during SimSoc.
Yeah, because the Reds are struggling.
Yes.
To make
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
And it's people's lives are changed by decisions that we make as a society. So that was very eye-opening right there. But let's see, you asked about people that I was just reading something recently about one of my classmates, Reed Lehman, who's with Miracle Hill, and so that was, I've kept up with him all these years. Phyllis Henderson, who's been in the State House for years, was in my class. Earl Harding was my banker for many years. Edward Stahl is a good friend. David Barnett, another banker in town. Joan Galden, a neighbor, and her husband was one of my partners here at the firm. Judy Suggs. Nell Stewart, who was with Dow Brands at the time, was a very passionate community leader, and really her ride in a sheriff's car sort of turned the trajectory of our class, and I think we ended up supporting law enforcement and did some things to improve their programs. So yeah, Tom with Legal Services, Beverly with Senior Action. I mean, there were a lot of people that I probably wouldn't have met on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
That made that a really incredible experience.
And that's wonderful. Looking back on your experience with LG, can you take yourself back to a specific opportunity, maybe a risk you took, a path that you wouldn't have gone on your own, but throughout the experience you went through some things and decided to take a path to really make a difference in our community?
I think what the program did for me, and I would assume for other people, is that it makes you more aware of your surroundings and your community and the areas that you are not necessarily in on a day-to-day basis. And it just makes you a little more compassionate, and it makes you maybe more aware of situations that you could influence.
Sure.
And it gives you sort of the backing or the encouragement to act on those thoughts, as opposed to just having them and moving on to your next agenda item on your list for the week.
Sure, much agreed there. So just like there was a group of young professionals that were involved in Class 15 with you, right now there's Leadership Greenville Class number 45 that is currently in the midst of their community projects, in the midst of learning about our community. If you could give them one piece of advice based on your experience nearly 30 years ago, what would you give Leadership Greenville 45 today?
I would say to always think about yourself and your career and your family, but just keep your eyes open for opportunities to help someone else or to influence someone else. I'll give for instance. We were very active in our children's schools. They went to inner city schools the whole 12 years. And when we got to Greenville High School, the principal, I was having a conversation with the principal one day, and I said, "Ginger, we don't have a band. Why do we not have a band?" And she said, "There's just been a lot of discipline problems with that program, and so we don't have a director, that." I said, "We need a band.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a band?" And she said, "Well, help us get one."
Sure.
So, okay, never done that before. My children aren't in the band. I've got a football player and a dance team member. I don't have a band member. So we organized. I mean, we had some home meetings in the summer, and we raised $10,000. We bought a drum line. Didn't have a band, but we had a drum line, and we just started. And we created an all arts booster club because we knew that we were going to struggle with maybe getting parental support when you were starting from ground zero. So we then pulled in the other art programs which we knew might have a far reach in the schools. So we started an all arts booster program. She let us help her hire a band director. We got someone right out of Furman University, and they started the program. And I'll never forget a student came up to me at the end of the season, or end of the year, and she said, "Mr. Zeigler, thank you for helping us do this. I'm a senior, and all I wanted to do was be in something like this." So, you just kind of get a little teary-eyed,
Sure.
and you say, okay. So that program is now winning awards, and they're just incredible. And
Yeah.
I communicate with the band director, so it's a different one from when we started. But that's just an example of just being aware. not getting so caught up in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, but just being aware of things around you. What can I do to improve or leave it better than I found it?
Sure.
And people probably get tired of me being obnoxious when I'm on these boards and things, but it's all about how do you make it better?
Sure.
Just don't go through something to put it on your resume. How can I change this organization to make it better?
Exactly. And you're so humble about all of the accomplishments and things that you've been involved in throughout the years. But what is it like to see your literal fingerprint that you have left on so much of the beautiful architecture in the city of Greenville, the city we all love so much?
It takes a lot of people to make those things beautiful, and it's a team effort to create spaces that people use. And our firm is very much our DNA is about buildings that last. We're not just building buildings for them to be up for a few years. We're doing stuff that's around for a long time, and our firm is 62 years old this year. It's very humbling to experience that, to know that you started with a blank piece of paper and that you were able to draw out of a client their needs and their desires and then make it reality. I mean, there's a lot of pain in between A and B, but we have a recent one that we've been working on for the last 6 years. That's the Children's Theater in the west end of town, and it's just really rewarding to see that project coming out, because I know how dedicated and the lives that they're changing in that program. So I think that's a real that's one of those moments.
Sure. Well, it's obvious it's just not about buildings, but the difference that is made in the lives of all types of people that occur in those buildings once they're created. So, Ed, thank you so much for your time today, and what a worthy recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award. And as Leadership Greenville alumni, I'm proud to see other alumni such as yourself who have truly made a difference and kind of set the path for the rest of us to continue on making a difference in this community. So thank you so much today.